Hello, hello. Hey guys, Vic Swear, roadrunner.com. Hang on a second. Let me get that right. Um, yeah, we got some people. Can you guys hear me? Give me a 5x5 if you can hear me. I know the ads start running right away. I'm like, oh, okay. Nobody's in yet. 5x5 by 5. Sweet. Hey, thanks for coming on, guys. This is kind of spur of the moment. Who do we got in the chat room? John Rambo. Love that name. Love that movie. Those movies, actually. We got Matt. We got Tim Thomas. We got Yeehaw. 5x5. Sweet. Stephen Conway. What up? Omar. Matt. Amy Weir. I know her. Dave. Lots of Daves. Mikes. Cane Break. Sup? Thailand. Sweet. That's a long way away. I've never been to Thailand. I've been to Singapore and Hong Kong. Back when I was doing business stuff. I've never vacationed in Asia, and hopefully one day I will be able to. Hopefully one day the good guys will win and take down these bad guys. And that's what I want to talk about a little bit today. We're going to talk about the end game. I did put out the timeline for the private road members. Oh, by the way, if you give me a thumbs up, we can get a bunch more people. If you're on Twitter, tweet your people to come watch the live chat. It's so difficult finding YouTube these days. A lot of my friends are getting booted. I hear Jeff Berwick might be booted at some point because he's talking about the coronavirus. It's bullshit. The whole thing is bullshit. You can't. What happened to free speech in America? I mean, completely ridiculous. Yeah. All right, Autobahn, Montclair legend. Long live Montclair. Yeah. I don't know how long I'll be here, but yes, I do live in Oakland. The Oakland Hills is called Montclair. It's not even a town, really. I don't even know what it is. It's an area of Oakland. But yeah, I dig Montclair, but we might be moving. Don't know yet. Not to like a remote island like my friend Dick Allgaier. I love him so much. It's so hard to see him struggling, but yeah, he's got his beliefs and what he believes and what he. I don't know if he's fighting for anything. He's pretty much resigned to take whatever they give him. And I get where he's coming from. You know, it's been a couple hundred or maybe a couple thousand years of kind of controlling humanity, and he doesn't think we can break away. I take the opposite stance. I think we are given free will. It is our right to be free. And you're seeing it start to break out in America today. I love it. I absolutely love it. I love that they're storming the gates of the mayor's office in California, and it's true. I mean, I'm not saying they shouldn't recommend staying at home. What I'm saying is, it is not your place or position as the governor of California to instruct all businesses to close and everybody can't go outside and you have to change your life. That's fine if the individual chooses to do that, and if a government wants to recommend that, that's fine. If they want to recommend that you close your business, that's fine. But to mandate, are you kidding me? What country do we live in? And of course, all the numbers are screwed up, and who knows how many have died. I think our next battle is coming, and it's going to be much bigger one than now. And it's going to be the re-release of a new bioweapon or same bioweapon in America. And they're going to say, oh, it's because you went outside. Because you fought for your freedom and liberty is why we're going to demand that you stay home, and you see how many more people die. So watch for false flag around that. It really sucks. It really sucks, but it's coming. And it's part of the world we're living in now, and part of the reason we chose to come down here is to see how we would react to experience this transition. And when you think about it, in human history, this is probably one of the biggest things that we can live through. And I think it's really exciting that we're in it, and we do have the ability to shake off these controllers, the market riggers, the people who screw with our healthcare, the people who screw with our food, the people who spray our skies. we do have the ability to take them down, and I think we will take them down. It's not going to be an easy fight, and clearly they're a caged animal right now. Everybody's seeing through it. That the problem with making everybody stay home with a computer is people look things up on the internet. Like why the hell am I have to shut down my business that I worked 20 years to build and destroy it because of a politician says that this little scientist who invented a vaccine told us that this thing is killing everybody. I do think it is a bioweapon. I'm pretty sure it is a bioweapon. I think it came out of China. I do think they'll release it again, another strand of it when we come outside. Your job is to fight for your freedom while you're fighting for your lives. You want to save your life, load up on vitamin C, vitamin D3. That's the other big one that Cliff was saying. All these studies have come out that D3, a high dosage of vitamin D in your body, really, you can't get it. Well, I shouldn't say that. I didn't say that. Rewind. It would be difficult. So vitamin D3 and chaga, and then all the other vitamins. But definitely vitamin D, definitely vitamin C, and definitely chaga. And then you can do whatever you want. You can go out, and if you get it, you get it. I mean, we all got to go someday, right? But would you rather go fighting for your freedom and the livelihood of yourself and your family? Or would you rather, lock yourself in a room where we don't get any sunlight, which, obviously sunlight is a high supplier of vitamin D. Maybe that's why they're saying, oh, you can't go to the beach. We don't want to save your life. The good news is in California that golf courses are allowed to open. Yeah, they got some rules. You got to stay. You can't ride in the same cart and stuff like that. But hey, it's starting. And the other good news is they are storming the gates at the California Capitol building. Truthfully, if my business has been shutting down this long and I knew I was going out of business, I would be storming up there too. Luckily, my business is on the internet. But I feel I have a lot of friends whose businesses are absolutely getting destroyed because of something. And they're not quite sure what it is. And they're not quite sure who's lying to them. Because all those scientists we're relying on, we rely on science, were wrong. They were wrong in the beginning. So why are we relying on them now? And who's to blame for this? So let's get outside. Let's definitely get your body defenses. If you're susceptible, if you got heart problems or breathing problems or any kind of problems and you're elderly, don't go outside. Don't do it. And that should be your right to stay home if you want. And I mean, I don't believe in the government giving everybody money, but it's too late. The government's already given everybody money. They will continue to do that. They have bailed out the banks. I got some figures here right now. They have bailed out the banks since 9/11. Since 9/11, 2019 is when this thing started with the repos. $3.4 billion. Oh, excuse me. 3.4 trillion with a T. It's billion used to be a lot. Remember when a billion was a lot of money? $3.4 trillion since 9/11. They have bailed out the banking system. That's not the money counted for we the people. That's not counting for saving businesses. Although the banks are taking that money and leveraging it and giving it to their buddies who owe them. Hey, Joe down at the bank, I'll approve your business loan if you pay the 2 months of rent you owe. Oh, yeah, sure, let's do it. That's what's happening. So, yeah, $3.4 trillion has been printed by the banks just to stay afloat, and they got it. I figure they need another $7 trillion, and that'll last them 6 months. So I don't think it's going to happen. And I put a timeline out. The timeline was so hard. Oh, my God. You would not believe how hard this timeline. Why? Because it's never happened before. We've never had this situation. All businesses locked down. The end of a global fiat monetary system. The end of a global reserve currency. That's crazy. It's crazy that there was a global reserve currency anyway, but with the petrodollar, that was what was required. Every country needed to hold U.S. dollars to buy oil. That is what Greenspan and Kissinger set up in the 1970s with the Saudis. And they would take the profits, spend it some themselves, but they'd reinvest it in the U.S. stock market. And now we have the Fed. The Fed is investing directly in the U.S. stock market. They just announced today that they are going to start buying ETFs. Let's make it easy. They're going to start buying ETFs. So they're printing money to buy ETFs. I guess it's good to pay into the system. Do what they say, and then they'll support you as much as they can. The real issue is now the middle class is being destroyed. The middle class is being destroyed with the shutdown. The smaller business, the rich are fine. They can go years without doing anything. It's the middle class that need money to run their business, to actively work and work hard and do great jobs. And there's people who like make $80,000 who can't get any bailout. In California, 80 grand is hard to live on anyway. Truthfully, if you're a family trying to live out in California off 80 grand, it's difficult. With all the taxes that we pay, which is ridiculous, and now California needs a bailout. So it's all coming to the end of the road to Ruta, and the road to Ruta is the intentional destruction of the monetary system, print as much money as possible for as long as possible, soaking up all the benefits of unbacked fiat money. Build your roads, your bridges. We haven't done much of that. Build houses. Oh my God, the amount of houses that have been built in California is insane. Yes, I do believe housing will go down 90%. The housing values will go down 90%. It's not a hyperinflation or deflation thing. It's the availability of loans to buy a house. The banks have stopped lending because they know the collateral is going to go down. It's a vicious circle. So yeah, if you're looking to buy a house, which I probably will, when the housing market crashes and cryptos go up and silver go up because they are the alternatives to fiat money, the alternatives, the safety net. When the rigging ends, absolutely, silver is going to go absolutely nuts. Oh, by the way, if you don't, I just talked to Andy Scheckman over at Miles Franklin. If you don't have a local guide, start local and walk in there with cash and walk out with the real thing. But if you don't, I asked Andy what he's got in inventory. He's got a lot of 1 ounce rounds, which are a great investment. I love 1 ounce rounds. But he's got a lot of the Australian, the kangaroos, the half lunars, year of the pig, year of the mouse. I think that's 2019, 2020. He's also got a whole bunch of the 5 ounce America the Beautiful 5 ounce coins that are really cool. This is the Salt River coins. But yeah, he's got some in inventory. And then if you're willing to wait, he's got some coming in on order. But you never know with that. If you can't find it, yeah, that's your last ditch effort. You can contact Andy at Andy, A-N-D-Y, at Miles Franklin, MILESFRANKLIN.com. So, yeah, Andy's been doing a great job for Road to Ruta people. Nothing but thumbs up. I hear such great stories. How he bends over backwards and to get people the best price out there. And that's key. So, all right. And as far as oil, let's talk oil real quick. Oil just jumped over $20. Now, $20 is a big number in oil. But why is it jumping? We've got 12 days. We've only got 12 days to the end of the contract when it has to be delivered. And there's currently 261,000 contracts out there. Now, Trump said he was going to buy 75,000. So that leaves about, 180,000 contracts, which is 180 million barrels of oil that need to be sold off before the May 19th delivery date. So I think really interesting time for oil. I wouldn't be anywhere near the oil markets, short or long, because you don't know what Trump and those guys are going to do. So just beware of that. I got a super chat. Hey, thank you very much for the super chat. Hold on. G8 job on the timeline. Oh, great. I'm like, G8, what's the G8? Job on timeline predictions are unreliable, but yours beat the crap out of staring into the fog alone. That's exactly well put. Thank you, Mark. It was, the predictions are absolutely unreliable because nobody knows. Nobody's been through this. But so far I've been pretty good. The last 2 years has been pretty good on predictions. Nobody gets it exactly right. Nobody even knows, truthfully. I know Dick Allgaier says his guys know, but no, they don't know. They don't know. They didn't know about the Road to Ruta stuff. They didn't know that the Fed was looking to destroy the system. So I think we had a shot. We at least a chance of beating the criminals that have controlled us for so long and kicking the banksters out and all that. At least a shot. That's all we need, because there's enough Americans out there ready to stand up and fight for what is right. And I think that is ultimately what's going to come of this lockdown, is the American people will refine their voice and be screaming at the politicians and the controllers and the banksters that we're sick of it. We're sick of it. We're not going to take it anymore. And if it takes storming the Capitol, we'll do that. If it takes storming Wall Street, we'll do that. If it takes storming the bank, we'll do that too. I love the protests where people are, because they're on COVID lockdown, they're like circling around in their cars and nobody can get anywhere. What a great idea. Let's promote that idea of get in your car and lock down your city. Just go to your local city hall and drive around and around, get everybody to do it, and nobody can get in and out. It's really interesting times. Crypto Angels, thank you, my friend. Hit those like buttons. Yeah, like helps, right? Woo, 776 people in the chat. Very nice. Give me a like, and then I guess people like you after that. I don't know. I don't know how it works. Something with the algorithms. They might be taking me down because I talked about the virus briefly. Anno Sky, thank you for the super chat. Abix, thank you for the great job. Bravo. I love Road to Ruta followers. Absolutely. I take a lot of crap over the years. I don't get everything right. I'm the first to admit that. But I try to tell you why I get into my silver investments in the cryptos. I think cryptos are the future. I think there's a lot of crap that needs to go down in cryptos, though, before we get to that future. For example, we need to take out the crypto cabal, those bad guys that run Bitfinex, and they're probably pumping up the cryptos right now. But we need to take them out to move into the future. Not for being in cryptos. We need to take them out for other crimes. And yeah, we need to take a lot of people out. Hey, Greg, what up? Greg Tanaka. Haven't seen you in a while. Yeah, so I am fighting for the good fight. Yes, we'll probably lose this fight. The bad guys have controlled us for 2,000 years. But we're closer now than we've ever been to beating them, both on the economic level, we got the right guy, I think, as president. The people behind him have put him there for a reason. And on a spiritual level, it is time for us to awake, ascend. We're getting a lot of help from the higher realms, both on the ET level and on the spiritual level. So, hey, if we're going to do it, now's the time. So keep a stiff upper lip. Fight the good fight. That's what we got to do. Yep, Tom, God wins always. And if you think about it, and you go back in time, good always triumphs over evil in everything we've ever done. And it will once again. So you want to be on the right side. You want to fight as hard as you can to maintain your freedoms, maintain your liberty, hopefully hold our country together somehow, because that's where an amazing future happens. If we can do that, yeah, the future is ours to write. And that's the way it should be. We're born free, and we stay free unless we give up our sovereignty. So, Tony O'Face, what up? Thanks for the super chat. Watching Theta like a hawk. Gonna talk to SGT. I talked to Sean a lot. He's on it. He's nailing it. He's an awesome guy. No plans to talk to him. Actually, I talked to Dave at X22 Report Spotlight. I don't know if he's posted our interview yet. But it should be any day. If he hasn't already, I might just have missed it. But Theta, yeah. Theta's like doubled. Theta was way undervalued. Remember, Theta doesn't have the problem of the ICO. They never ICO'd. They pulled it at the last second. They've got huge backers, especially Samsung is the one I watch a lot. Decentralized broadband. That's the future. And you can get Theta at Road to Ruta. For every subscription, I give out 100 Theta and 100 Theta Fuel. But yeah, you can buy Theta I buy it on CoinSwitch. There's not many places if you're in the U.S. you can get Theta, but CoinSwitch, you can swap your Litecoin for Theta. Don't get me wrong, I love my Litecoin and it's being rigged too. But what's going to move the biggest and farthest. Ultimately, I think Theta has got a huge way to move, although Litecoin does too. If we have a collapsing of the financial system, there won't be much use for broadband, but there will be a lot of use for a means of exchange. So we'll see how it goes. I hear Congress murmurings in Congress of starting to hand out, quote, money on digital wallets, which is a progression. No, I don't think it'll be right away that they'll go Bitcoin and Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash, but it might be. You never know. It's interesting. The election's going to be really interesting because obviously the Democrats are using this Corona thing for everything it can be worth. They're delaying everything. They want everybody to be sick and dying, and us to blame it on Trump. And I don't think that will work, but if it gets close to working, that means Trump has got to work faster in picking up the speed on arresting these bastards before he leaves office. So yeah, I hope Trump says, okay, enough of the games. I'm going to be truthful to everybody. These people did this. They're going to jail. And oh, by the way, we've got these secret technologies that have been hidden away from us for so long. This is going to help us restart because we shouldn't be building roads if we're going to have flying cars in a couple of years. We shouldn't be building bridges if we're going to have flying cars, right? Right? So the infrastructure bill I think, is just delay of the release of the hidden technologies. Why am I so sure we're going to have flying cars? Because we got flying other things in the sky that I can't explain, and I've seen them with my night vision goggles. So I have firsthand experience seeing these flying craft, and how hard would it be to, build a car that floats off the ground. They're already doing it with the little propeller technology they have with drones. You can get a flying car today, but a different kind of propulsion is used in those crafts that I see up in the heavens, shall we say. So we'll see. But that's what we need. Yes, this is the year zero, the beginning of something completely new. Cliff High nailed it. Oh my God, did he nail it? And we're in it. And we knew it would be hard, but we're in it. And we gotta manage our way through. It's gonna be a tough year and a half. Did have a long discussion with the group that Christoph runs, our friend Christoph, our spiritual friend Christoph. He's like, yeah, it's going to be a year to a year and a half of really difficult times, massively difficult times, but the future past that is a timeline that is amazing. It's the golden age. And I think that's where we're headed. So will Trump pull out the gold from the Grand Canyon and Chocolate Mountain and all the hidden gold around the world and say, hey, we're going on to a gold standard? He could. Would people accept it? Yeah, they'd accept it better than the unbacked fiat, but again, gold is not very good in transactions, in long distance transactions. No one's going to trust a fiat that's backed by gold because people will lie about the backing. So when trust is lost, that whole game that they played throughout the 1900s of we've got the gold, so we print the money and give it to you. That no longer works. They're printing. Just talk to Catherine Austin Fitts. They're printing trillions and trillions of dollars and not telling anybody. I think she just is scratching the surface. I think it's unlimited the amount they are printing now, and they don't tell anybody about it. So we will see. All right, let's get to your questions. I think I covered things I want to talk about. All right, throw out some questions. Online advertising net. Don't worry, Bix. Trump will fix everything in the next 4 years. Buy Bitcoin. Yeah, I don't know. I think things are happening a lot faster. I think they're breaking down a lot faster. So we'll see what happens. But 4 years, I'm not willing to wait. Well, nothing you can do, right? You can fight all you want, but it's tough. I don't think it'll take 4 years, though. Jean-Claude in the house. I've been watching go to his YouTube channel and like it, Beyond Mystic. I watch all his YouTube posts. He's got some great interviews on there. Half spiritual, half economic, half craziness. That's why I love him. He's a good guy. And I go gold hunting with him. Not gold, treasure hunting, excuse me. Let's see. RN says, Bix, will you call Warren Buffett and talk silver? Buffett won't talk to me. He's got secret plans going on in the back, I think. Remember, everybody's telling me Buffett's a bad guy because he supports Gates and the vaccinations and all that. And I go, that's not what I was talking about. I was talking about the financial side. Yeah, it's hard. And I put out a video this morning on the fog of war. You don't know who's a good guy and who's a bad guy. It's really hard to tell what the agendas are. I got half the people on the road to Ruta saying Trump's a bad guy. I got half the people saying he's a good guy. Trust the plan, don't trust the plan. I got half the people saying, Buffett's a bad guy. Well, if he's a bad guy, why did he buy silver and almost destroy the silver market in the late 90s? People saying Buffett is just out for himself. I've done quite a bit of research on Buffett as far as him and his relationship to his father, and also other movies that were released that kind of give it a hint that Buffett is looking to destroy the old system and put something new in. He knows all about the gold and the silver hidden away in the United States. It would be beautiful if he took his $137 billion and bought physical silver. And people who say there's not enough physical silver don't understand how physical silver markets work. Of course there's enough physical silver for $137 billion worth of silver. He's just going to have to pay more. Would you part with one silver ounce for $10,000? I probably would. So yes, Buffett can buy all the silver he can muster at $137 billion. It's just what price will he have to pay to get it out of the hands of the people who own it today? And that's going to be the interesting thing about when the current false exchanges close down, the COMEX and the LBMA, how will the silver market be conducted? Will they invent a new market? Will they inject veritasium into the COMEX? Remember, Cliff High's data says that the U.S. government comes to Reggie Middleton saying, help us, help us. The only time I can see that happening is if we have a crashing or a freezing of this insane trading, these insane trading exchanges that don't even trade the real thing. And then everybody loses faith, and then the government says, hey, Reggie, the veritasium is a truth machine, and exchanges, can we use it? They work with Reggie, and they take his 98 million coins that are sitting in limbo right now. I know it's a long shot, but in reality, I thought it was much bigger long shot before. Before the SEC shut them down, took Reggie's veritasium, but I think they gave to the trustee only the Bitcoin and the Ethereum. They held the veritasium in a frozen account. Why would they do that unless they were looking for a different application? And it's so important. Something like veritasium is so important. Decentralized exchanges are so important in the world going forward. So, keep an eye on veritasium. Keep an eye on solutions for our current criminal exchanges. It's really interesting. People are starting to talk about the DTCC now. DTCC is that entity that's supposed to clear all transactions, meaning exchange of money, exchange of title, all the paperwork back and forth. It's electronic now. But they pretty much gave up on that 20, 30 years ago. They can't do it. When the computers came in, high-frequency trading, nobody knows who owns what anymore, including in the treasury market. So there you go. All right, let's go. Martin Armstrong question. Cool. Hey, Bix. Armstrong says the way the crisis is handled is so stupid, it has to be on purpose. He gives credit to a lot of these things. Yeah. I like Martin. I've been at odds with him a couple times about the road to Ruta theory. He says, no, Greenspan doesn't know how to program a computer. I'm like, well, really? Did you really study his early days? Did you really go back to the 1960s, who his best friends were? And did you read his book saying, oh, he's one of the guys who screwed up the Y2K issue? Yes, Greenspan has been a computer programmer. As a matter of fact, in his office back in the 60s on Wall Street, he had a secret room right off of his office that had all this computer hardware in it. And this guy, Lowell Wiltbank, who's Rocky in the Road to Ruta comic books, was running all the punch cards back then, and then ran the computer programs for Greenspan. And then Greenspan brought it into the Federal Reserve System through his mentor, a guy named Arthur Burns. So yes, Alan Greenspan was a computer programmer through the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, and all the way till today. Probably he's really old though. He's really old. He's still alive, but he's you could tell his body when he speaks, his mouth doesn't work that well. But his mind is still amazing, and what he did to try to take down the banking system was very interesting. In 1987, when he got to be head of the Fed, that's when we had the first computer-generated market crash in 1987, 2 months after Greenspan got in. And then everything he's done since has told me that, and I do think he was involved in the invention of Bitcoin. There's a lot of clues that says he was. One, it was his job to be involved in money. He was probably the world's best computer expert through the 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s. And when you look at the Satoshi writings, one of the things Satoshi said is he'd been working on Bitcoin for 2 years. Well, Alan Greenspan left the Fed 2 years before the white paper was released. Just another one of, and I'm not relying on any single thing in my analysis that Bitcoin or that Greenspan was involved in the invention of Bitcoin, but also with the Dick Allgaier remote viewing sessions. That it makes it very clear that it was Greenspan, a guy named John Kimony, who was Greenspan's best friend and invented BASIC back in the 60s, and Steve Jobs, who put the computer in a human being's hand. So that made Bitcoin available to the masses to be used. And then there's one other guy. I'm not sure who the last guy is. He's a younger guy, no glasses, little pudgy, dark hair. A couple guys fit that description around the time when Bitcoin was finally released. All right, let's see what else we got. Rome birds as the fiddle plays. Yeah. As far as the ever returning to where we were, I don't see that happening. I don't see going back to regular jobs. Cities will probably all shut down because most of those jobs are finance based, and it's the financial system that is having the problems. It's the unbacked fiat monetary system, the rehypothecation of assets, the fraud, the market rigging. Without all that, a lot of these companies will go down, and then you don't have need for these massive cities with everybody in those cities working on financial issues. That's the main industry in the big cities is finance, by far. So if finance is no longer the way it was, you're going to see massive layoffs. It won't even be layoffs. It'll just be stop payment. And that's what Dick Allgaier's RV saw, is that the exchanges just freeze up and stop trading. So we will see. Does it sound complete fantasy, crazy? No way. Absolutely. Absolutely. But it's the only way out of our problem. And it gets us out of the problem. The biggest problem is not the things they talk about on TV. The biggest problem is debt in general. Unsustainable debt. Every state, local government, federal government, every country, every human being is massively in debt. And I know a lot of people say, oh, what do you mean I got all this equity in my house? What if you have zero equity in your house? What if you end up owing the bank because the housing prices drop 80, 90%? Debt is what will be wiped free when the banks crash. And it is assured because of the derivative market. You're not hearing much about the derivative market because there's many bailouts going on behind the scenes. But it is cracking, imploding, especially on the oil side. Watch when we get to May 19th. I don't know if the price of oil is going to go to $100 or go to minus $100, but there's going to be some action and activity around that delivery date. Keep an eye on it. All right, we got Paige Goodger in the house. Woo, woo. Get back to work. What's she doing? All right, let's go. What questions do we got? Robert says, why does Bitcoin Ben say the Chinese have Satoshi's million Bitcoin? I don't know. Maybe he's right. I don't know. I don't think they do. I think it is the U.S. government, but who knows? No, it's not Craig Wright. I don't believe, clearly, but why don't they? Craig Wright works for the bad guys, the deep state, by the way, crypto cabal, as I call them, the Bitfinex guys. So who knows who's running that guy's world? But no, I don't think China has them. Was Ben told that, or did he figure out something that we don't know? We might want to ask him that. I didn't hear him say that, so I don't know. I'll have to call him up. We'll have to have a debate. I love debating Ben. All right, Leonard Harvey Bix, why don't we hear more about the criminal acts and extreme international power of BlackRock? I don't know. Mainly because they're kind of hidden. They're not a bank, so they don't have to report all the stuff they do. But they are, definitely all the bad things that were going on in the banks after 2008 have been driven into BlackRock, so they can do it without the scrutiny of being a bank. So that's probably they're knee deep in silver manipulation and gold manipulation too. Will it be that they take over the silver short? I don't know. The silver short has just gotten to be ridiculous. There's 8 banks now that hold it. J.P. Morgan has flipped. They are long silver on the contract side, and they are long silver on the physical side, massively. I mean, remember that the U.S. government took down the Hunt brothers back in 1980 because they held 100 million ounces of silver and I think 110 million ounces of silver contracts. That's nothing compared to what J.P. Morgan holds. Over a billion ounces. Over a billion ounces of silver is held by J.P. Morgan, according to Ted Butler. Do I believe Ted? Absolutely. Why? Because he uses the data out of the CFTC, the required data. That's really hard to do. I could say, they got 2 billion ounces, but I'd be blowing smoke. He tracks all the inventory deliveries. That guy is amazing. Love it. Leonard, you said BlackRock has taken over the J.P. Morgan short a couple weeks ago. Not really. I said I thought they would. I didn't say they took over the short. The short's held by the 8 traders. I don't know the amount each one of them has, but the 8 commercial traders on the COMEX hold the huge major silver short. So I didn't say BlackRock specifically. I said they could. They probably will, but I didn't say it definitively. Is that why you wrote it in capital letters? Are you screaming? On your show! Why are you writing in capitals, dude? No. Well, if I said that BlackRock has taken it over, then I misspoke. I said they probably will take it over. I don't have the evidence of BlackRock doing that. I have evidence that BlackRock has the traders, and they do participate in the manipulation behind the scenes. But the only way to get that data, it's hard because they don't have to report what they do. My eyes are so bad I type it up. Okay. All right. I'll give you that. All right. Let's see what else. From Doug C. What do you think about the possibility of a Hillary Obama ticket in 2020? I think it's impossible. First of all, I don't think Hillary's alive anymore. Maybe a clone, maybe a lookalike. No, I don't think she's alive anymore, or maybe she's just in custody somewhere. Obama, no, he's knee deep in the Page, Strzok, Comey. He's the ringleader, so he'll be taken down with that. There might be other presidents to go down too, ex-presidents, Bush Jr. as well. It would be tough on the country, and I get why they haven't done it yet, but crimes are crimes in my book. And if you're gonna it's amazing. I always talk about this when I sing that song, "Just a Criminal." Is like there's a 7-Eleven across the street from the J.P. Morgan office in New York City, and if you rob that 7-Eleven of a couple $100, you end up in jail. Right across the street, J.P. Morgan robs us daily for millions, billions, and even trillions of dollars. Probably in the lifetime of J.P. Morgan Chase, trillions of dollars. And that's just what they've been caught doing. Billions, I think it's at 46 billion in the last 10 years. But those are just the fines they paid. And just imagine how many trillions they made because of that. So yeah, would you pay billions in fines if you made trillions by doing it? Absolutely. Nobody goes to jail yet, but we will see. Jing Yin. I butchered that name. Bix, do you think the fourth turning comes true? Yes, I do. I gotta read that book again though. I think everything is changing now. Everything is changing now. Definitely get your hands on some physical silver. Definitely get your hands on some cryptocurrencies in your own possession. What would I buy right now? If I was new to cryptos, I'd buy Bitcoin, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, and then a bunch of little ones. Theta, Veritasium, Omizigo. Veritasium's a lottery ticket, but if that lottery ticket comes true, you're riding off into the sunset. What else? There's a bunch of good cryptos. It's hard to tell how the system will roll out if the smooth transition. Yeah, I'd buy a little Digibyte, but as a means of exchange, it's got other uses. I know it's got a lot of excitement around it today, like any crypto that does something good or gets pumped, it's gonna move. But yeah, I will not buy. I don't even want to say it. No, I'm not going to talk badly about Bitcoin Ben's suggestions. It's not badly; they just haven't done anything. The Divi token, I will buy the Divi token if they ever do anything that they say. I've been here in 2 months for the last 2 years and nothing. And in the meantime, the volume, the amount of tickets, Divi tokens, the supply has gone through the roof. Look at the supply of Divi. It's like, oh my God. It's like doubling and doubling. It's like, oh my God. That's crazy. And I said long ago that with Divi, that if you build it, I will come. If they did what they said they were going to do, I would recommend it and get in. They are not, and they have not. Well, grand dreams and plans don't mean squat diddly, especially when you have a hyperinflating coin. So that's my problem with them. Now I think it's too late now for Divi. Even if they did something great, there's so many tokens now, billions of tokens out there, and they keep creating them. Those early guys who got in are thinking, oh man, if Divi goes big, I'm rich. Yeah, you should have stopped. It's the supply and demand issue. That's what money's all about. The lack of supply gives it value, and with Divi, it's just exactly the opposite. They're printing it like it's, yeah. Crypto Angels. I had a Divi Masternode that kept crashing. I had one too. It crashed twice in a week, and I said, "What am I doing in here?" And then I hear, no, just call them. Well, they run the Masternode. It's completely centralized. The whole thing is insane. But I do appreciate Bitcoin Ben's love of it. He wants cryptos to succeed. But I don't see it. I don't see Divi. So, Bix, what form of silver would you buy today? I like 1 ounce rounds. Keep it small, mainly because the problem with forgeries and fake silver, molybdenum in 100-ounce bars and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'd keep it small because it's harder to fake. And it doesn't make much sense silver coating a copper coin. It's too costly. All right. Do I do rounds or coins? Both. Um, I think for the 401ks, the people who do self-directed IRAs and have gone through perpetual assets, my friend Will down there, yeah, I think you're better off investing in silver eagles and gold eagles for that, just to make sure you're within the law, because the law actually does say the U.S. Eagle are good for your self-directed IRA. But I think other coins as well. It's not as solid. But yeah, I like the 1 ounce rounds. And if you're doing 1 ounce rounds, as long as you're buying from someone you know, buy the cheapest ones. You get the most. And but I do have silver eagles as well, just because I love them, and they might be used as money even. Who knows? Who knows what's going to be happening as the old system fails? Hey, you guys could give me a like. We're at 300 thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. Thank you. All right, what else do we want to talk about? Brooke Hopkins says, how do you see the transfer of the new monetary system taking place? I do have a private road post right now that is a timeline. But I do see a crashing of the old system and the reallocation of money. Whatever that money is, if it's gold, if it's silver, if it's fiat, it probably won't succeed. If it's cryptos, I see a reallocation. Everybody gets a base amount, kind of like what they're doing now, except they don't give it to everybody, but everybody will get it. And then allocate more to people who bought into the system longest. And the way to do that is through the Social Security system. It's what is in the Road to Ruta comic book, how Ruta allocates the flowers according to age. It makes sense because it's got the older people who've worked the hardest and paid into the system the most should get the most when money's reallocated. So that's my take. Will it happen like that? I don't know, and the Fed doesn't know either. That was very clear in the Fed documents. The Road to Ruta Teacher's Guide very clearly says they don't know if the people accept anything. Who knows? We might go Mad Max. Cliff High's like, it's going to be Mad Max. Dick Allgire's like, it's going to be Mad Max. I don't think it has to be Mad Max, but if life throws us Mad Max, we got to be as prepared as possible. I don't plan on hiding in the woods or on a desert island, and just to survive for 5 years to come back to what, right? I planned and I am fighting the fight on the ground, and I plan to keep doing that. So, yeah, trust the plan. Yeah, it's fine to trust the plan, but you better trust your own plan also, right? Vintage guy, debt jubilee ? No, I don't think it's different. It would be a creative destruction event. It would be the destruction of all debt, which is the destruction of the unbacked fiat assets as well. So you can't take one side of the equation away in a debt jubilee because the other side goes with it. So it will be a destruction, basically a stopping of the system, a reboot into something, a reboot. Let's see. Robert Levert, why buy ETH versus Litecoin? They're two different things. Litecoin is a means of exchange. Ethereum is a platform to build businesses on. Ethereum's when they get through with this upgrade, it's going to be amazing, and I think the price is strong because of that. I do know that governments around the world are looking to implement Ethereum-based businesses. Yeah, Vitalik met with Putin. I was like, wow, that's going to be big. So the U.S. is also on the crypto side. I think the U.S. will be a major supporter of crypto when the criminals are gone, the bad guys are gone who are trying to, keep us down, keep us in their monetary system. But as soon as the unbacked fiat monetary system fails and the U.S. dollar is no longer the world's reserve currency, I think you'll see a flip instantly in the U.S. from anti-crypto to very pro-crypto. And that's going to be crazy. Pro-crypto is going to be good days. Good days. All right. We got time for, what time are we looking at? A couple more questions. I know the rower says the word jumble. Where's the word jumble? I'm halfway through it. I mean, I keep finding new things, and I go down new avenues. And but that's the Economist magazine cover. It's an eye chart that we're doing a word jumble, and there's some amazing things in there. I'm starting to find things about the virus and all that. Remember, this came out September of last year, October of last year, and I should be done with that in the next couple of weeks. It will be a report, just like the other ones. So I might lump them all together and put all my Economist magazine report, because this is probably the last Economist magazine that's going to be allowed to put so much conspiracy on the cover. All right, let's see. Steve Gale, Royal Canadian Mint, the mints in general. Royal Canadian Mint has stopped production. They're making face masks now, I think, or shields or something. Canada's worse off as far as control by the deep state, by the Queen and all the pedo stuff. The U.S. is more into freedom than Canada, so they're going to struggle more, I think, in Canada, unfortunately, because, well, not struggle more. They're already listening to their government way too much, and they don't have that independent sense of fight the government. And I think in the U.S. we'll fight anybody. And but yeah. Oh, Jean-Claude would know. He's from Canadian government. He's retired. But yeah, he agrees that I love Canadians, but you got to stand up for yourself against your ruling crown, because they don't have your best interest in mind. They don't have it. Crypto Angels Glicks win a new song. I know. That is one of the things that I need to get back on is singing in the music. All right, I'll announce it right now. We'll do a happy hour, music happy hour on Friday, I think. Yeah, Friday. And we'll shoot for 2 o'clock Pacific time, 5 o'clock Eastern time. Happy hour concert. Bring your requests. and if you've had a request that I promised to play, put it in the chat now, and I'll have Amy write it down, and we'll try to get with that. Yes, Jean-Claude. Friday beers and cheers. Except we're not drinking right now. We're on the cleanse. I forgot. Well, I'll be cheersing you guys with celery juice. You guys can drink your beers, and I'll be cheersing with celery juice. Celery. All right. That's pretty much all I got to say. Keep fighting. That's the big message here. Fight for what is right. Fight the good fight. Yes, I know it's almost impossible to get rid of these guys, and they're always controlling us. But if you don't fight, you're going to look back on your life and say, what the hell was I doing? Why did I listen to them when they said this? Why didn't I fight for changing the world for my kids' kids and kids' kids and kids' kids? Because our parents didn't fight hard enough. And I don't want my kids saying I didn't fight hard enough. Okay? I want to thank you guys for coming on. Join the Road to Ruta. Go to roadtoruta.com. Check out what we got. You can search for anything. I mean, there's thousands of articles. There's videos all over the place. You can search the video channel. I've talked about everything in the past 20 years, so go do a lot of searches at roadtoruta.com. We got a brand new website. Go check it out. Or it's evolving. It's changing as we speak. Thumbs up for Josh for doing that. And very excited about continuing the battle for freedom. And it doesn't end. It will never end. It's going to get harder. But I love seeing people outside saying, hey, screw you, government. This is my life. I'll live it the way I want to live it. And hopefully the good guys, if I trust the plan, the good guys behind the scenes of Trump will not let them release another virus. And that's key because they're going to try. So hang in there, my friends. Take your vitamin C, take your D, and take your chaga. I'll talk to you guys later.